Hi. To create a Tic Tac Toe with NetBeans, the first thing you have to do is download the JDK Java. Google it, click here, and then click here, accept the license agreement, and select the operating system you need. Let's search the NetBeans, download NetBeans ID. Here is the NetBeans 7.3. We need the 7.0, so let's click Archive. Let's select the NetBeans version 7.0. The build type release, continue. We only need the NetBeans Platform SDK and Java SE. Download it, and after this, you will have this one. First, open this one. I can't because I already have it. After open the NetBeans installer, you will have this window. You have the ID base and Java SE. Click next, accept the terms, next, accept the terms, next. Here's the direction of the JDK, next, and install. This is all you need to start the Tic Tac Toe.
Hey, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to create a Tic Tac Toe in Java. We use the 7.0 version of NetBeans. The first thing we need to do in order to create a Tic Tac Toe is to create a new project. After that, click in the Java Desktop Application option. Then click on Nets and then on Nets. The main class checkbox must be checked and we can save it with the name we want it. In this case we save it as Tic Tac Toe. The program will create 3 different tabs. In this tab we can write what we need. And in this case, we decide to place 9 buttons, which we will put an S or an O. To place these buttons, we only need to click here and then here. We can make it the size we want it. In properties, we can decide the type and size of letter we want. We use the button restart and exit to these specific functions of the game. In this place is where the whole code is. The logic that we use to make this tic-tac-toe is that through these buttons we change the text and check if there is, depending on the positions and when you move. To change the text to the buttons, you can click here and press the spacebar or right click it and choose the option Edit Text. To change the name of the variable, you may right-click the button and choose the option Change Variable Name and put the name you want. In this case, we have assigned the buttons as P1, P2, P3, and so on. To create an event or an action, you can right-click it, select the event options, then Action and Action Performer. Thereby creating a function where we can write what we want the function to do. In the code, you must first create a matrix, because the logic used to create a tic-tac-toe is through a 3x3 matrix. The matrix type is a string, because we are assigning characters. Then we create a boolean to tell us if it's true or false. So if this is true, it's a player 1 turn, and if it's false, it's the second player turn. The variable start is used to know, if it is true, that the matrix has just null in every positions. Because at first, when the matrix is declared, every position of the matrix is assigned with null. That means nothing. While running the program and pressing the button, it checks if start is true. If so, it declares that 2 variables which will be used to create 2 cycles. These cycles are used to manipulate the matrix by the 2 dimensions, which include the first and the second index. The first index refers to the rows, while the second refers to the columns. Then, in the position 0, 0 of the matrix is going to be assigned, just to have summative field to null. This will fill the entire matrix with this. The start variable is turned to false in order to not repeat it the next time, because it has to be filled with nothing, just the first time that we program is wrong. Then, to enter the matrix either O or an X, we have a variable called turn. As previously mentioned, true is the player 1 and false is the player 2. The matrix has positions 0, 1, and 2 in both dimensions. When the program is running there, the matrix already has the X and O on it, and we also need the buttons to have it. So, we input in the first button what is writing in the matrix in the position 0, 0. This function is used to check if it was entered matches to the rules of who wins, which are having 3 O or X in a row, either horizontally, vertically, or leaning. If so, inside this function that we're going to explain later, it will show who is the winner after that function. Here's the variable turn will be changed and we deposit on what turn now have. It will change because the sign of exclamation means the negation of the position. To facilitate work and manage in a better way of code, we decide to create different functions for this. All that is here have to be inside of each buttons, so we create different functions for this part. Another one for this part. So what was here is now here. When the button is clicked, this function is going to be performed. To create a function, we have to write public or private and void. Void means that the function won't return to a value. It will just run the process inside it. We do the same thing with this. The difference in the function symbol is that we no longer put 00 in the matrix index, but X and Y. These numbers will be assigned depending on which button is pressed, as in the case of the first button is 00. In the button 2 will be 01, and so on.
Hey, I'm going to explain the check function. The logic to check if someone is winning is to know the ways of winning, which are vertical, horizontal, and leaning. For each of these forms, we will use a variable int. It will see if these are equal, and then will be assigned an amount. And if these and these variables are equal, it works 2. If the variable equals 2, we have a winner. Then we made 2 cycles. This cycle is repeated 3 times, and this one too, because we need to compare this with this, and this to this. After this, then this. Actually, it will be 6 times. Within these cycles is that condition. This statement will verify that the matrix is not completely empty. Why? Because if we compare all this when it's empty, we'll say that there is a winner, because there are 3 places equal. Then it needs to make the process only if the position have something. This part is where we made the comparison. In the first case, 0 by 0 is checked. If it's equal to the position 0 by 1, and if they are equal, we'll put 1. By repeating the cycle, you will see that if positions 0 by 1 and 0 by 2 are equal, then the variable x will worth 2, saying that there is already a winner. In case of checking vertical, as we said earlier, there shouldn't be empty. The following process will be used by y and x, unlike the previous one, because we need to compare vertically.
Verification inclined needs to be done once, not like we do with the horizontal one. Check it once per row. Then X, the other cycle, should be worked too to verify this once, the last time. To see if someone has already won with the leaning form, first we create a condition to see if the center is not empty. Why? Because for someone to win leaning in the leaning form, the center must not be empty. To verify the downwardly inclined position, indices are equal. The 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2. The sloping up has a different process because in x it decreases and in y increases. We shouldn't forget that x is equal to 2 in this moment. If any of the variables aux4, aux1, the result and vertical is worth 2, it converts the boolean win to true because they win. Because to get here it needs to be false. Then it will skip this part. This statement tells if someone has won, either horizontal, vertical, or leaning. If it enters to the condition, it evaluates if the variable turn is true or false in order to print which player is the winner. Since someone won, jumps start over, and that's why this function is for. What this does is to clean the bottom and make them empty. It cleans all the variables through 2 cycles so that the matrix is empty like it was at the beginning. It will start all over again and you can restart the operation. The restart button will only have the function of cleaning. The exit button will only finish the program.